What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader, here with a very special interview with my top student, Tim Grittani, who has turned $1,500 now into over $7 million. It wasn't easy, it didn't happen overnight. Learn from his journey.
Early in my career, one thing it took me a while to start doing on my own that I think made a big difference was building my own watch lists. And the process of building the watch list, I mean, it's not an exact science. There's no exact strict guidelines I think any one person should follow, because it goes back to the idea again of everybody is different. Everybody has different setups that they're looking for. Now, for me, I was always looking for plays with volatility, plays trading unusual volume. That's what I was drawn to. And the easiest way for me to find that was to use stock scanners. I think that they are an incredible tool, and that any trader at any level should probably be using some form of stock scanner. My scans, again, I don't get too complicated with it. I really do like to keep things simple. So I'm not looking for stocks that are doing anything wild or unusual. I just go ahead and run a basic scan on percent gainers. That really is about all there is to it, with a volume requirement. So an example of what one of my scans might look like is I tell the scanner to show me all stocks that are up at least 10% on the day, have traded at least $3 million in volume, and that is one filter that some scanners have that others don't, that I think is really helpful. Because if you just try to put in a share number for volume, like say, oh, show me all stocks that have traded 1 million shares or more that are up 10% on the day, the problem you run into is that 1 million shares is very different in terms of liquidity for, say, a 5-cent stock versus a $5 stock. So I use the dollar because I want to make sure that I'm getting a certain amount of money flowing through the stock on the day. And that really translates better into the scan result, showing me stocks that have the kind of volume I want. So I'm looking at the percent gain and I'm looking at volume. And that is about all there is to it. So where do I go from there? I take this list, and I mean, sometimes it returns 5 stocks, sometimes it returns 20 stocks. It just depends on the day, because the market is like that. But I'll usually go through most, if not all, of the list. And I just pull up daily charts, because the daily chart is something that I use to make a lot of my decisions and form my big picture opinions on whether something is a long or a short. So I will just pull up the daily chart of the ticker, see what today, the crazy volume volatility day looks like versus the previous year on the daily chart. And if I see a pattern that is familiar to me, something that I like, something that I feel like I can take advantage of going into the next day or maybe a couple days later, I add it to a watch list, which I keep in an Excel sheet every night. And if I don't like it, I just skip it. I just move on to the next ticker. So out of this 5 to 20 tickers that show up per night on my scanner, I'm probably only selecting about a quarter of them. It's not like just because it hit the scanner, it's an automatic watch. The pattern has to be there too on the daily chart. And once I have this spreadsheet with all of the stocks listed that I do like the pattern and I do like what the scanner is telling me, then I type out a little plan going into the next day for it. So my plan will often have a couple different stipulations where I will say, okay, if the stock gaps up, this is my plan for it. If the stock gaps down, this is my play for it. And in the events where I have a really long watch list, this winds up being 8 or more tickers or something like that, I obviously have to prioritize, because I'm not going to come out into the next morning trying to trade 8 different stocks at the same time. I probably will screw them all up instead of focusing on 1 or 2 and really succeeding with those. So my prioritization really comes down to which patterns do I like the best, the ones that I know I've had the most success with. Which ones do I think have the best volatility, so the most potential for profit if I trade it right? And then even to further narrow it, I usually make this watch list the night before. So the next morning, I see which way it's gapping pre-market. And I have my ideal ideas of, I like a certain play way better if it gaps up versus if it gaps down, for example. So if the stock is giving me the gap move that I want, that moves way up my list.
Hey, Tim Sykes, Millionaire Mentor and Trader. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope that they help you. I want to share everything that I've learned over the years. You can check out more videos right over there. And also click subscribe so that you can watch all of these videos, get that knowledge, and become my next millionaire student.